Hey friends, it's Rachel. I wanted to share with you one of my favorite hip mobility routines that I use as a warm-up before rock climbing. So this particular video focuses more on external rotation, so getting the hips nice and open and ready to keep the hips close into the wall. This particular video focuses more on mobility work and activation work rather than long stretches and holds. So long stretches and holds are better served for after a workout or after physical activity or even on rest days. And mobility work is a little bit more productive right before we do something a little bit more active. So this is an abridged version of a longer warm-up that I actually use, but I just wanted to give something a little bit quick and simple, open up the hips, focusing more on the lower body. If you do want to check out the longer video because you like what you see here, you can find it on my YouTube channel, which is Move and Shift, and the video name is Hip to the Dip Extended Version. But for now, let's just get right into it. So let's start laying down on our back. Knees are bent, soles of the feet on the ground. Right away, we're just going to go ahead and come into a very, very soft figure four, crossing the right ankle above the left knee. And we're not doing anything else from here. So we're not hugging the legs in and we're not pushing the leg away. Just go ahead and bring the arms out to the side. Keep your right foot gently flexed, pulling the toes back towards the knee. And you don't need to be an overachiever with it. It doesn't have to be like pulling them really hard back. Just softly flexing the foot. And then starting to take a couple deeper breaths in and out through the nose. And just noticing while you're here breathing, your outer right hip. And if you can maybe soften that area about 1 to 2% more than it already is. Notice if you can release any tension in your lower back and your belly. And then nice and slow, switch. Right foot down. Left ankle above the right knee with your foot gently flexed. And again, as you breathe nice and slow in and out through the nose, just noticing if you can soften and release any amount more into your outer left hip, your lower back, and your belly. And then go ahead and take your left foot on the ground and bring your heels as close in towards your bum as you can so that you can even feel the heels with your fingertips there. And we don't want the feet super wide, so they should be kind of right behind your bum here, in line with your sit bones. And then from this point, you're going to walk your feet away from your bum, away from your glutes about 4 to 5 inches. So by taking the feet just a little bit further away from the glutes, we actually have an opportunity to get a little bit deeper into glute activation. So that's why we're taking the feet a little further away from the bum. So when you're here, go ahead and bring your lower back closer to the floor if it's not already there, but don't forcibly push the low back. So it's just going to get closer to the ground so there's a little bit of space. And then again, without pushing low back into the floor, just draw the navel back towards the spine. So there's a very light activation there of your abdominals. And then keeping that, press through the heels, but don't lift the hips. So you're just going to push through the heels so you feel your hips get a little bit lighter on the ground while keeping that muscular activation in through the core. And then relax everything completely. And then again, find a little bit of that low belly activation, push through the heels, your hips just get lighter on the ground, and notice what starts to turn on around your glutes, around your hips, and then relax that all the way. And one more time, lower belly active, press through the heels and continue to press through the heels this time as you lift your hips up into bridge pose. So sometimes the chest will come all the way up towards the neck, and if that's happening, soften your chest so you feel the back of your heart space get a little bit closer towards the floor, and then really try to focus on tucking your pelvis underneath you so you can get really deep into that glute activation there. And then a little bit of that low belly support turns on as well. So now start to lower the hips until they barely touch the floor. Push through the heels, keep the pelvis tucked underneath you as you lift, and then lower back down. Maybe combining a breath with your movement, so exhaling as you lift, Chest stays soft away from the neck. Inhale as you lower back down. Let's just do one more of these, pressing through heels. Tailbone stays tucked as you lift. And then lower the hips all the way back down, coming into figure four, crossing right ankle above your left knee. So now you're in external rotation of the right leg. And staying in external rotation, you're going to hover the ankle away from the knee, and then you'll lower it back down. And so just continue to do that, lifting and lowering. And instead of trying to do 100% every time, go through different ranges. So what's it like to do just 20% and let it go, and maybe 40, and just feeling that out. And just trying to hold external rotation as best as you can. So you don't want to lift the leg so much that the knee comes in towards the chest. You want the knee to stay out to the side and almost visualize the inside edge of your right ankle drawing in towards your left shoulder. Now float your leg hold, grab onto the sole of your right foot with your left hand, and then right hand to right knee. And then just go ahead and rock your leg from side to side like a little baby. Your body can shift a little bit from side to side, but more or less we're just trying to rock the leg inside of the hip socket from side to side. And then just pause in any one of those ranges of motion. Keep the hands where they are. You're going to extend your foot up and out slightly, staying in external rotation. Then you'll lower the foot back down. And then kind of bring your leg further over to the left. And then same thing. Again, just going through external rotation in various different ranges of motion, bringing the leg all the way to the right and then extending up. And then just do a couple on your own and explore where you want to go through the external rotation from that side to side place. And then come back into figure four, ankle above your knee. Take both hands onto the two bony protrusions on the front of your pelvis. Then you're going to activate your lower abdominals again, pushing into your left heel, activate your glute, and then go ahead and lift up into a figure four bridge. So the hands on the hips just kind of shows us if they're even, which we want them to be. So if the right side is sagging a whole lot, think about actively driving the left heel down as you press the front of your right hip up, staying in external rotation. And then lower the hips, just barely tap the floor. Push through the heel, lift up figure four. Then you're just going to do that a couple more times. Again, emphasizing that light tuck of the pelvis, abdominal support, chest staying totally soft here. Now lift up your hips and hold. Really keep pushing down into the left heel, and then float your right leg up in external rotation. Lower the ankle down, tap the hips on the floor, and lift back up. We'll do that 3 more times. Hover external rotation, any amount. Lower the ankle, lower the hips. Last 2, hips staying even. Really emphasizing your left glute activation here. And last one, keeping the abdominals supporting with your glutes. Lower the ankle, lower the hips, relax completely. Take the sole of your right foot on the ground. Close the eyes and take a couple deep breaths. And just really feeling what's going on with your hips, noticing the left side and the right side. If you felt like you got a little lifted up on that as far as your energy goes, just using your breath to bring the energy back down. And then switching it up. So left ankle crosses above the right knee. Stay in external rotation as you hover the ankle and lower back down. So on this side, I'm much more restricted. So I'm not even going to come close to 100% on this. I'm going to stick to that 40% range and really focus on the emphasis of staying in external rotation as I go through this movement. And then float it up, hold, left hand to left knee, right hand to left foot, and then rock your little leg babe from side to side. And then starting to find one place to hold, hands stay where they are, but your foot lifts up and away a little. And then going through any of those ranges of side to side on your own. Noticing if there's any particular area that feels a little bit stickier as you go through this. And not to do anything about it or to fix it or to change it. You're just noticing these little areas about your body. And then coming back into your figure 4, hands on the 2 front of the hip points to give you a little bit of guidance. Activate low belly, push into the right heel, activate the glute, then lift up in a figure 4 bridge. And lower down, barely tap the hips and lift back up. And then down and up. Maybe breath to movement. Exhaling as you lift, inhaling as you lower. Keeping the hips as even as you can and maintaining external rotation. Last time, lift and hold. Float your external rotation. This side's a little harder. Lower the ankle, lower the hips, and we have 3 more. I got a little cramp. That's cool. Push through the heel, float up external rotation, lower the ankle with control, lower, barely tap the hips, drive through the heel, up, float, ankle down, hips down. Last one, push through the heel, really drive the right heel down as left leg floats, ankle crosses, lower the hips all the way down, left foot on the ground, relax completely. Again, if your energy is up, use your breath to down regulate. Important for climbing, right? We get to the crux and we get redlined. And then after the crux, if you get a chance to rest, you've got to be able to pull it all back in. And just take one more breath here, noticing how your hips feel. And that is the shorter version of this video. Hope your hips feel good. Try it out. This is a really good routine. Like I said, right before you get on the rock wall, excellent as part of your warm-up, or just doing it on rest days to just increase your own hip mobility. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And again, if you want to check out the extended version, it's on my YouTube channel. Happy climbing, friends. See you.